My dog. All right, man. All right. What is something right now in your current world that drives you? Yeah. Inspiration, thoughts, people
Uh,
that drives you.
Inspiration. I think it's one thing I go by every day is to be better than yesterday. My goal is to be better than who I was yesterday. Um, I believe that every day is a new opportunity to do whatever it is. We all have the same 24 hours. So it's, taking advantage of what you want to do and what it is you want to achieve in life. Someone that I probably look up to a lot is it'll have to be my mom, my parents, just because they have put in a lot of work. They're very strong people. They've gone through a bunch of adversities, and at the end of the day, they always stood up on top, and they always stay true to who they were. So that's definitely a big inspiration, especially for me on a day to day basis, because I'm just trying to be the best version of myself that I could be.
It's so good, so good. It's so good. It's so true. It's so true. They really have. What is what is something that you're avoiding publicly that you can get better at? That you have been avoiding, or like that you kind of stall
I
yourself or
wouldn't
delay
say I haven't
yourself,
been
but you
avoiding anything. I would say I've been procrastinating more just on the creativity side, just like what to post now, how do I stand out from others, and how do I, become uh, my own, you know, person, because just like every day or on a day-to-day basis, a lot of people, pick copy and they get inspired by other people, which is completely fine because everybody's got to have some type of inspiration. But then it's just staying true to myself and, knowing that, I have a bunch of valuable information to give out and I could just share it with everybody.
that's so good. That's so good. What's one thing that you can say that you have failed at and has made you the man that you are
Um,
today?
Man, one thing that I failed at, uh, I would say in the past 4 years, I would say accountability, saying I'm gonna do things without, coming through and following through. That's definitely something that I've looked back and told myself, like, if I'm gonna say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna hold myself accountable to doing something. So I'm not cheating myself and I'm not cheating others because it's not fair if someone is, they're giving me their undivided attention and I'm not reciprocating that. And then same thing to myself, if I'm cheating myself to, a goal that I'm trying to achieve and I'm trying to take the shortcut, it's going to take me twice as long to get to where I want to be. My dad always said lazy man works twice. So holding myself accountable is definitely something that I've been improving.
That's so good. So good. If if you can if you can look back at the last year of your life, what what would you say about it? Do you regret anything? Would you
Um,
do something different
Looking back
in
in
the
the
last year
last
of your
year,
life?
I would say definitely learned more about myself than anything. I don't regret anything. I think everything is a lesson. To win and to be successful, you have to be able to take multiple losses and know how to deal with those losses. Because some people fail one time and then they just give up. So just being a student to the game, being coachable, being wanting to better yourself.
That what is something that you create that feels effortless to you, but difficult for everyone else around you?
Um, you know, I would say the Instagram reels. Just being me myself. One thing I don't like is to be labeled a content influencer. I like to call myself a content creator because I'm not trying to influence anybody into doing anything. I'm just sharing the contents that I do on a day-to-day basis, whether it's smoking cigars, going out to eat, going to the gym, doing the things that I enjoy doing. I feel like certain people should, take a quick peek at it because, it's at my age, it's a blessing to do what I do for a living.
Yeah. What's one hard truth about yourself that you've had to um, kind of accept
My height,
about
my
yourself?
dad's my height. No, but without any jokes, one hard truth that I have to accept about myself, um,
Is it that you're too honest?
I
Is
feel
it
like
that you're
I'm very nice. Me as a person, I feel like I always want to share with others, but you give people a hand, they take your arm. So that's definitely one value that I have been slowing down on because one thing about me is like I like to share everything. If I could gift someone a free cigar every time, I would do it. But people get used to that and then they start taking advantage of you. So that's definitely one thing I have to work on.
what's been the best tip or advice that you've gotten
um
recently?
I wouldn't say it was recently. This was actually last year. But shout out to my boy Lucas. I was having a conversation with him at the shop, and I was just telling him my ideas that I wanted to do for the future. And he told me one thing, and it's really stuck with me, and it was start yesterday, because once you start yesterday, you have no other choice but to continue. Uh,
Expand on that.
well, that means like if you have doubts on having like an idea that you want to do, or there's this business venture, or you feel like you could do something, like in preparation, you have to start yesterday. Like if you want to run a marathon, you can't just show up to the race and like, oh, I'm ready. It's with preparation becomes, through preparation you'll be ready for anything. You can't be preparing last minute, because then when the time comes, it's you're very unprepared in the sense of, you can't, you got to be able to conquer what you've been preparing for.
Did your dad ever
The
teach you the
five
five
P's?
P's?
Nah.
I need you to say it. Say it's this. Ready?
Preparation prevents poor performance.
Your dad taught me that. So can you say that?
Preparation prevents poor performance. Yeah. Yeah, it is very true. It's like if there's this job that you're trying to apply for, but you don't have the experience to meet those requirements, you're not going to be able to take in, you know, the responsibility of that.
With the business that you do with obviously the cigar lounge, the people around, the day in, the day outs, the regulars, the walk-ins. What's one thing that you've learned about people?
Um, that everybody is their own person, in the sense that dealing with people on a day-to-day basis, it's much more than just selling cigars. It's some people come and they have stressful days, so then you're a therapist. Some people are like, yo, do you think it's gonna rain today? Some people think, they want your opinion on certain sports things. So different people, well, everybody is different in the sense of, everybody has their own day-to-day tasks, and they're not going to be the same as the next person. So not being too pushy with people, just because you never know what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. You don't know if they're mad, stressed, sad, happy. It's always a different it's always a different thing every day, because even the same people that I see on a day-to-day basis, some days they could be, you know, 100%, and some days they're like 40%, so it's definitely just being patient with others. That's one thing.
What's something about yourself that people or most people don't know about you privately that maybe you don't mind sharing?
Something that people might not know about me privately. That's a great question. Um, I started fishing a lot. I start like I go on these like tangents and just like little side quests of doing random things. So I like to, yeah, I like to do a little bit of everything, because it's one thing to do one thing that I enjoy on a day-to-day basis, which is going to the gym. I think taking care of your health is one of the most important things in this one life that we're all given. I feel like it should be a priority in everybody's um, day-to-day routine. But also doing the things that you enjoy. If you get that sudden urge to just go for a walk and smoke a cigar or do whatever it is you want to do, go do it. If you want to go fishing, go do it. If you want to go bowling, go do it. I've been bowling a little bit on my free time too. So it's just it's just like doing what you want, because nothing is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, man, one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, dude, is going off a little deeper. Your life in the last couple years has been surrounded by death. Your family's had to endure, you've had to endure, your brothers, and your whole family as a whole. And how do you see that? What do you see when it comes to your faith, and how do you view God, and how do you view everything, that you still got to show up to the gym, you still got to show up for yourself, you still got to show up for your family, and you still got to show up for work? What does that
So for
take
me,
on you?
this goes back about 7 years when my uncle passed away. Um, that was probably the most emotional that I've been, dealing with these deaths in my family. But when my uncle passed away earlier this year, one thing that I told my cousins was, unfortunately, this thing that we live on a day-to-day basis called life, it doesn't stop for anybody. So, you know, there's a million things going on in this world right now as we speak that is very unfortunate. People passing away, people losing loved ones, people making their first $1 million, people, achieving goals, and then some people that, it's this world, there's a million things going on at once. So um I think the one thing with my faith is appreciating the lessons that were taught to me while they were here. Um I've never been one to be. I'm not a what if guy. I don't like to put in my brain, what if I did this when they were still here? What if, things could have played out differently? Because that's not the reality of things. Um, that's just the hard truth with everything. Um, just dealing with it on a day-to-day basis is just staying strong, not only for myself, but for the people around me, because um, when you show that you're strong and you're still consistent with what you're doing, and not only that, you're bringing everybody closer together. It rubs off on everybody. So everybody has a better approach and attitude to it. Obviously, on everybody's own time, they have their ways of coping and dealing with their thoughts. But it's just showing up for myself and everybody.
Yeah. So your family's very rooted, bro, in God and faith and love, and you guys, man, you guys are all very, very united, and it's such a great foundation. And I love that about you guys. And what's one thing that you feel that pushes you with that when it comes to faith or God or
I
everything
think
going on around?
family is probably the most valuable thing that you could have in this world, in this life that we live. Family especially having a close relationship with your family, because you can have all the money in the world and still be lonely. Um, you know, these are the people that I share the same bloodline with. So, whether I'm happy, mad, whatever it is, at the end of the day, there's still family. Whatever opinions we don't look eye to eye on doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we're still family. Um, it's definitely the most important thing, just because I could have everything. Um, you could have that Lamborghini. You could have the $10 million mansion. You could have everything in the world, but without family, I feel like there isn't any value to certain things, because um that's probably one of the only things that God had promised us. Obviously we come from male and female, and we have mother and father. So um enjoying what God had gifted us is the most important thing to me. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. All right, last one, man. Last one. What would be your message to the world, to your friends, to your loved ones? One
A
message.
message to the world, to everybody that's watching or listening or chiming in. Um, excuse my profanity, but just
Go ahead.
don't give a fuck. Honestly, people are gonna judge you on a day-to-day basis. Uh, People that you are near and dear, close to, they're gonna ask you, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And then there's gonna be strangers out there that are supporting whatever you do. So you really can't give a fuck about whatever anybody is saying or talking about you, because at the end of the day, you know who you are as a person, and you know what value you provide to whatever it is that you're doing in your life and in your world. So uh definitely taking care of yourself, your mental, your health, getting closer to God, and enjoying the small things, learning to appreciate the smaller things, because my mom always told me, if I give you $10,000 and you spend it all in a week, you're not gonna know how to handle $1 million.
So good.
So appreciate what you have now, so when God blesses you with more, you know how to handle it and you know how to manage yourself.
So good. I love it. I love it, man. Clap. There you go, dog. Awesome, man. Very, very, very proud of you. Very proud of the man that you've become. And obviously, I've known you for many years, and as growing up, and I love seeing you shine light. I love seeing you be your authentic self, and I love you showing up every day for your family, your friends, and everybody at the shop. And that's something that's important. And more people need men
Hey,
like you,
bro.
bro. You got it, my brother.
Yes, sir. Keep doing what you're doing too. Everybody's got their own purpose.
That's right. That's right. That's
So
right, man. Well, I'm here to support you, bud, and I can't wait to see what God does in your life, and it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great.